Welcome back to 5-Minute Knives, the channel that'll beat you in arm wrestling but can't hold down dairy. Today, we're going to talk about an expensive Knerfel sent in by our good friends at the Blade Ops. And this is a Becnhmade knife. And you guys know that I don't review a lot of Becnhmade knives, mainly because of the price. Becnhmade tends to be a lot more expensive than a lot of other brands. Spyderco seems to be heading in that direction as well, so we'll keep an eye on that in the near future. But this is the Becnhmade Meatcrafter 15500-3 fixed blade, and this is an OD green G10, and it's S45VN stainless steel. Now this knife runs between like 310 and 350 if you can find it. Let me go ahead and unbox it for you. Here's the box. There's the blade itself. Good looking sombrich, if you ask me. That orange kind of plastic sheath really pops. You got an orange ring here with a giant lanyard hole, which I really like. Very thin. Now these are made in the USA, and it's about 8 1/8 inches long total. Weighs approximately 4.5 ounces. The handle is olive drab green G10 with hollow pins and an orange Cerakote hanger hole. It's a full tang knife, and it utilizes a 6 1/8 inch trailing point blade. Let's take a look at it. Whoa, that's brutal looking, guys. That's some brutality right there. Wow, look how slicey that some grum is. That's frightening. I puckered. Did you? Through the screen? It's got a pucker factor. Look how thin this is. I mean, is this even showing up? Look, there's the edge. Is this even showing up? Look, there's the back of the spine of the blade. Very, very thin. But this knife is probably capable of doing quite a bit. You just have to be very, very careful you didn't break it. And it's got a bolter-on sheath. That's the material I was looking for earlier. CPM S45VN stainless. A fine steel. Will take an edge nicely. Might take a little extra time to sharpen her, but not too bad. It's got a limited lifetime manufacturer's warranty, and it's not designed or intended to be used on or against humans. Okay, but I bet you, if you had to dig a tater, whoa. I think this thing could snap though. It's just so thin. You know what I mean? I think you want to stick to, food prep. That's the intended role for this knife, and I could really see it. It's very, very nice. Skinning, a little long for skinning. Obviously, you want a shorter knife for skinning, but it could work in that role. You would just go through everything. And I don't know if you want to, skinning game, right? On the blade schnappers, they have an orange bladed version, which is really nice with a carbon fiber handle. That sucker's 405, which that makes me pucker a little bit. So the sheath weighs 2.15 ounces, which isn't terrible. And the blade itself is 3.24 ounces. So everything together is just very, very light. Good retention on the sheath. A very slight wobble. You can feel the blade kind of moving around in there, but not terrible. This is serviceable and it'll work. Once you overcome the edge of the handle, she just wants to pop right out, which isn't bad. It's very sharp looking, obviously, pun intended, but it's good looking. This is a good looking knife. Let's take a look at that handle. There's the Becnhmade logo there. You got some slats for your webbing or whatever you want to throw in there. Do have a bit of a drainage hole. Now this is one of those knives that you could really hurt yourself with, so I try to be very, very careful when I'm handling it. But it's a cool knife. Fits my medium-large mitts very nicely. A little thin in the handle, obviously, mainly due to the very thin stock of the blade, and you didn't want the handle to be too heavy. So I think they struck a really nice balance here. It is just very lively. It wants to do whatever you want to do. This knife will do anything you want to do as far as your food prep. Nice clean cuts. You just have to be very careful. I could see a lot of you guys hurting yourself with this one. Now, do any of you guys own this knife? And what do you think about it? How many outings have you taken her on? Is she collecting any rust with the S45VN? You know, is she all scratched up? It's a good looking knife. I really love this oversized lanyard hole with the Cerakoted orange ring. It just looks very, very nice if you ask me. That being said, I can't justify the $3 bills for it, personally. But if you have it like that, I think this would be a fine companion, especially if you're cooking a lot out there. If you're constantly outdoors cooking, then why not? Sort of makes me wish I had my Becker BK5 back. I mean, that was totally serviceable for food prep. A bit bigger, almost like a 9-inch blade on that sucker. And this is only a 6-inch blade. But this is very, very nice. It's a scary knife. Like, it's a very, very slicey blade. I like it. I think it's cool. I'm just not thrilled with the price for me anyway. So you guys let me know what you think. If you want to pick up this knife, as always, if you use the link below and pick up anything on the Blade Ops, it does help the channel. We do get a kickback from that, so keep it in mind, and I do appreciate you. Let me know what you think in the comments about this knife, and we'll see you next time on 5 Minute Knives.